Hey guys, two movie reviews today. First up, it's War for the Planet of the Apes. Now, I've seen the original 1968 Planet of the Apes and the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes remake. The original 1968 Planet of the Apes is obviously a classic, whereas the Tim Burton one, I think we can all agree, is pretty crap, to be honest. And then we have the prequel reboot series with Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Both great movies, but I think Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is probably my favourite. So then we come up to War for the Planet of the Apes. Now, the plot is, it's set 2 years after Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and Caesar, his buddy and his family have gone into hiding after Kobar from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes started a war between the humans and the apes. They're eventually found by the military, led by this colonel guy, played by Woody Harrelson. And he does something to Caesar which really pisses him off. I'm not going to spoil it, but yeah, Caesar is full of vengeance at this point, hatred of the humans. He wants to get back at them. So then they encounter this little girl who can't speak. And it's quite clever because the film actually explains why the humans in the 1968 Planet of the Apes can't speak eventually. So that's kind of clever. And then they bump into this, I don't know, comic relief ape chimpanzee character named Bad Ape, and to me he's one of the weaker points of the movie. He's a comic relief character who just wasn't all that funny to me personally. I didn't really find him needed. I mean, he wasn't like Jar Jar Binks bad, don't get me wrong, but he felt kind of unnecessary and it just wasn't working. And then we get to the big set piece, which is the ape concentration camp, led by the Alpha Omega military colonel person. So it plays out a bit like The Great Escape, and supposedly Apocalypse Now, but I haven't seen Apocalypse Now, so I can't confirm that. And does it really make much sense? I suppose I could be a nitpicky bastard about it, the whole ape escape plan, but I'm not a nitpicky bastard like some people. But, I really enjoyed the sequence. The action scenes are very good. One of the apes is this guy, Red, who's obviously fighting against the apes and he's on the human side. He was pretty cool and he has a nice redemption to him. And yeah, there's quite a lot of emotion to the movie. It's very much a Caesar movie and completely focused on the apes. I kind of like the human interaction scenes in the previous two, Rise and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which are kind of missing as it's pretty much set entirely on the apes and there's not too many human interactions in it. I understand why, but just saying I felt was a bit of a letdown. So yeah, Andy Serkis as Caesar, can't really fault him, brilliant performance. The apes are all realistic, the action is good. It's, on a personal enjoyment level, I really enjoyed this movie, despite some little drawbacks that make it my least favourite of the three. For now, I'm wondering how it will hold up on rewatch. I'm giving War for the Planet of the Apes a 7.5 out of 10. Next up is It Comes at Night. So, I took a chance on this movie, like last year's The Witch, which was a more indie, arty-farty movie than a Hollywood blockbuster. That's been getting rave reviews with critics, but more of a mixed response from audiences. So, when I saw it in the cinema, there was only about 10 of us. By the end of it, it was just me. So everyone walked out, but I think that's because people were misled into thinking it was a horror movie. Now, I would never consider this a horror movie. It's more of a thriller/drama survival movie, I suppose. It's definitely not a horror movie though. So the plot is basically there's this disease outbreak going on and this family is boarding up their house, and the main guy is Paul, played by Joe Edgerton, and they're staying safe, they're taking safety precautions, they're not trusting everyone, only themselves. Things seem to be going alright until this guy named Will, played by Christopher Abbott, breaks into their house, and he's just looking for supplies, but the family's they don't know if they can trust him, and he's going, look, I have a family of my own, I want, them to come to this house, I'll give you supplies in return. And initially they don't know if they can trust him, but then they go and take a chance on him. So they go and get their family, take them back to the house, and from there on, things slowly go downhill. So yeah, it's a very slow movie. I mean, it's only 90 minutes long, but it felt a bit longer than that. I mean, I wasn't, like, bored with it. I got through it pretty easily, but it doesn't answer everything. There's a lot of things left to interpretation, and people might not like that. Like, it is never explained. And it deals with a lot of, like, trust issues, what to do. To be fair, the movie's big positive is that the characters act reasonable for the majority of the time. I mean, yeah, they make a few dumb decisions, but it's more because they're in, like, a panic mode. So it didn't feel unnatural at all. The acting is very good, the cinematography, the direction, the atmosphere, very well shot, no complaints there. So yeah, it's just, you know, you're not going to see a lot happening. I'm okay with that. But when it gets to the last 15 minutes, it gets quite intense. So yeah, things definitely take a rather rampant turn at that point. But I wasn't disappointed with my watch. I don't think it's anywhere close to being one of the worst movies ever made. I probably wouldn't watch it again, so I'm going to give It Comes at Night a 6.5 out of 10.